Hello, trading has closed on September 18, 2020. Let's do our disclaimer. And then we'll go into our calls. This is my plan for Monday. I can't guarantee it's the right idea. Trade at your own risk. There's a webinar after the close Wednesday. If you're interested, here's my address. You can email me for the link. We have all these prior MEJT targets. I've had that many outstanding before, but I've never had that many which stuck. Eventually, some or all of these print, and the question is if we're going there now. So let's look at the indicators and see what we see. Call for the pattern with the early low. It's usually positive. I said it was more likely than not it would be a negative pattern. Said this low had a fall sometime. I was looking for the negative pattern if we had a gap and a quick move outside the range, and that didn't happen. So even though we got the drop, it didn't happen exactly the way I was predicting. Here's what we said, and these are the patterns for next week. I was fooled here early on. We got an ultimate buy signal, ultimate sell in the same sequence. Almost always the market goes nowhere when that happens. Big moves like this are most unusual. Almost always you're going to trade back in this range before the day's up. So nothing works every time. MEJT says the move is false. Says we'll print 3358.66 optionally. If it doesn't happen by Monday, forget it. Says we'll print 3353.86 most likely by Tuesday. And ultimately 3361.42. No time limit. Don't forget that when the market makes a big move, it almost always leaves a failed target. So if we are going to drop here, these aren't going to save the bulls. In the afternoon, lower and higher targets were generated and they each printed. We got the sell signal that worked immediately. So ultimately higher price would print, and that worked. Well, here's our chart. This TDST line has support going to a bar under the line. That was today. So we're at support. And if we break through this, not just overlap, but then support fails. This is also a Bollinger Band. So I'm not saying we're going to gap down, but if we do undercut this and hold it, it's a failure of support. We should go lower, but you will be oversold. Here's the general idea. We're looking for wave blue C comparable to wave blue A. We have dropped 300 points in less than a month. That's a lot. But so far it's not holding a candle to the magnitude or the intensity of the drop we had earlier in the year. So perhaps it isn't going to play out the way I was originally planning. You can't really tell at this time. At least I can't. Here's how I'm counting this. If this is wave black C, it probably isn't over. But we dropped here. This low is a Fibonacci target of the prior consolidation. We also closed over the prior low, even though we traded well under it. And if those things are maintained at Monday's open, I wouldn't expect this to drop in a straight line. There's no Fibonacci relationship between this wave and wave black A, but there is a relationship between this wave and wave blue A of black A. They're exactly the same, and that, of course, is compatible with this being the end of the first wave down, and is compatible but not a guarantee that we get a recovery before the decline begins again, as I'm pretty confident it will. Another confounding feature for the bears is we have a volume spike on the E-mini contract. Usually when that happens, you're pretty close to a low. Kind of makes a confusing picture for me, as you'll see. We have mixed signals. These are my usual rules. It's positive. We have higher MEJT targets. The drop couldn't close under the prior low. The late rally Friday almost always follows through into Monday's open. The low was a target of a prior consolidation, and there was a volume spike on the E-mini contract. That's all positive stuff. It's negative. The normally bullish pattern was negative. We broke under the prior consolidation. Picture is really clouded further by the onset of the Jewish holidays. Often it's a holiday market, and this technical stuff doesn't always work. The old saw said to sell Rosh Hashanah into buy Yom Kippur, but in recent years the exact opposite strategy is one that worked. There will often be a holiday market as many participants were absent. Might not be true this year as the holiday will be over. It happens more often than you'd think because the Hebrew calendar is configured so Rosh Hashanah never falls on Sunday, Wednesday, or Friday. Picture is so muddled, I'm reluctant to make a specific call. I suspect we're going to have a rally first, followed by new reaction lows. I don't think it'll all necessarily happen in the day. I'm just going to make note of the indicators. I don't have really a specific plan for this Monday. And that's today's non-call.